According to the Wikipedia, the preamble of the United States Constitution is the beginning words with "We the People," is a brief introductory statement of the Constitution's fundamental purposes and guiding principles. Courts have referred to the preamble as reliable evidence of the Founding Fathers' intentions regarding the Constitution's meaning and what they hoped the Constitution would achieve. The preamble has 6 goals. First is to form a more perfect union. Second, to establish justice. Third, to ensure domestic tranquility. Fourth, to provide for the common defense. Fifth, to promote the general welfare. And sixth, to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. For any of you who are not familiar with the word posterity, it means all the generations to follow. So goal number 6 is to secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and for all the generations to come. Liberty, freedom for your children, for your grandchildren, for your great-grandchildren, and for all those who follow. So here it is, the preamble of the Constitution of the United States of America. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Oh, to me, there's something sacred about these words. As I'm reading it, it's almost a spiritual experience. It was written in 1787, 234 years ago, most probably by Governor Morris, and presented at the first Constitutional Convention that same summer in 1787. It was the beginning of creating this amazing country that we have the privilege to live in. I had to memorize it in high school. Did you? It wasn't that impressive to me as my teenage self, but now I find the preamble and the U.S. Constitution quite astonishing. They're both full of wisdom and a structure to create something that is magnificent. Close your eyes for a minute and I will read it again. Lean into it, breathe into it. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. We, the people of the United States, is you and me, all of us. We are the people. In order to form a more perfect union, not perfect, just better, commit to live in such a way as to make this country better, to establish justice, justice for all, to ensure domestic tranquility, work together as equals, to provide for the common defense, to keep us safe from enemies who threaten this country, to promote the general welfare, again, for all, and secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and for our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America, of which you are a part. One of the things I like most about this preamble are the words "in order to form a more perfect union." It doesn't say in order to form a perfect union. No, that's not possible. We are just merely human beings doing the best we can at trying to make sense out of this crazy journey that we're all on called life. One time I heard Obama describe his job as the president as just needing to move the ball down the field. He said he didn't expect to get a touchdown every time he was on the field, but instead his goal was simply to move the ball down the field toward liberty and justice for all, to bend the global arc toward peace and justice. So we don't have to burden ourselves with trying to create a perfect union. We just have to do our best to move the ball down the field to create a more perfect union, better than it was when we got here. But how can we do this? There's so much racism still and so much hatred. And as Cat Stevens sang in his song, Peace Train, I've been crying lately, thinking about the world that it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live in bliss? Because out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country. Come take me home again. And I say, come take us all home again. We have to band together and hop on the peace train for peace and justice. Because we can't have peace without justice. We have to have equality for men and women, for Black people and white people, for gay people and straight people and trans. We have to have financial equality, medical resources equality, opportunities for education equality, and justice equality. We must learn not to be judged or to judge others by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Sadly, I say, yes, we have a long ways to go yet. But you know, we can do this. We, the people, can do this. Think about the Arctic blast this last week. Splashed a little life on all of us. It was quite a week, don't you think? It started with the coldest President's Day in the recorded history of Texas. Actually, the coldest day, period, in the history of Texas. The coldest day, 11 degrees at one point. And then it snowed, and then it iced, and then it sleeted, and then the power went out, and then the water stopped running, and the pipes broke. Has this been going on at your house too, like our house? Well, here's my confession. It was so disruptive and so cold that I, quite frankly, didn't even think about the presidents. I didn't have a barbecue, didn't go to any President's Day sales, didn't even wear a red, white, and blue shirt. All I thought about is heat. I need heat. I'm freezing. So we got into the car to drive to Starbucks because I was sure they would have heat. Well, it was closed. In fact, everything was closed. And you know, when they close all the Starbucks and all the McDonald's and all the Chick-fil-A's and all the Whataburgers, that something big is going on, that this must be serious. And then, as I was shaking from being so cold, my son called and said, come over here, we have heat. We don't have any water, but we have heat. So we went and thawed out. What did you do? Who helped you? My husband and I were sent on an errand. Our job was to bring home organic whole milk for our 15-month-old beautiful grandson. Well, about 20 stores later, most of which were closed, we finally found a gas station that had 1/2 gallon of whole milk, no organic, and 1 pint, also not organic. My husband put the 1/2 gallon on the counter, and this is a true story. The clerk said, sorry, we don't sell that brand. You can't buy it. My husband said, what? The clerk said it wasn't in their system, so he couldn't sell it. My husband protested that we had to have it for our 15-month-old grandson, and all the grocery stores were closed, and everywhere we went, where everything was either closed or they were out of milk. He said, "This is the only milk left in the city. I need to buy it." Then the clerk said, "Well, just a second. I'll ask my manager." He went back in the back to call his manager and finally got permission to sell it. How grateful we were for this little bit of being willing to join the peace train, this little bit of willingness to help us. And I think we need more of this willingness to care for one another, to help one another. It seems we know how to do this. In fact, we're actually quite good at it in crisis. But what if we, the people, came together every day to form a more perfect union? How many of you went and stayed with a relative or a friend who had heat? What other kindnesses did you experience? What other kindnesses did you offer? What I'm talking about is being willing to be a team player, to hop on the peace and justice train, even when there is no crisis, no flood, no hurricane, no snow, sleet, or ice, but just as a normal course of the day, work together. Because here's the truth, we're all in this together, on this fragile little blue dot in the universe. We breathe the same air, we drink the same water, we use the same soil to grow food. Former President Obama said it this way: "All of us share this world for but a brief moment in time. The question is whether we spend that time focused on what pushes us apart, or whether we commit ourselves to an effort, a sustained effort, to find common ground, to focus on the future we seek for our children, and to respect the dignity of all human beings." In the face of impossible odds, people who love this country really do have the ability to change it. But we first must recognize that we, the people, not only have rights, but we also have responsibilities. We have a responsibility to tell the truth. It's not enough to change the players, the politicians. We've got to change the game. We've got to stop pitting Democrats against Republicans and Republicans against Democrats and liberals against conservatives and conservatives against liberals. We have to stop focusing on our differences in order to fix the real problems, social injustice and global warming. We have to work together on the same team, similar to what happened in World War II, when people united to save our country and the world from Hitler and fascism. They had scrap metal drives, aluminum cans drives, rubber tire drives. Food, gas, and clothing were rationed. They shared what little they had with those who needed it more. My grandmother, for example, always had a sandwich and a piece of fruit ready to give to anyone who came to her back door and was hungry. She never refused anyone asking for help or asking for food. My mother watched these acts of kindness while she was growing up, and then she taught that to us, the next generation, to care for the less fortunate as well. What helped everyone come together, of course, was a crisis. The Japanese bombing of Pearl Harbor and the sinking of many American warships. I think they sank 188 ships total. People began to wonder, if they were able to do that, are they able to come and bomb the mainland? Suddenly, people united, willing to make sacrifices in order to win the war. A rationing program was established that set limits on the amount of gas, food, and clothing consumers could purchase. Families were issued ration stamps that were used to buy their allotment of everything from meat, sugar, fat, butter, vegetables, and fruit to gas, tires, clothing, and fuel. The United States Office of War Information released posters in which Americans were urged to do with less so they will have enough. They meaning our US troops. No one was saying, well, I'm not going to do that. The liberals are trying to take over the country, or the Republicans are not to be trusted. No, they all just got on the peace train, working together, sharing, caring for one another. Even the National Commissioner of Baseball wrote to President Roosevelt asking if professional baseball should shut down during the war. In what became known as the Green Light Letter, Roosevelt responded that professional baseball should continue its operations as it was good for the collective morale of the whole country and would serve as a needed diversion. As it turned out, over 95% of professional baseball players turned in their jerseys for military fatigues. Even baseball greats Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams joined the war effort to do their part. So I wonder, what happened to that one for all and all for one American spirit? We need it back. It's exactly what we need to heal the political divide and get onto the work that really needs to be done. Ending racism, ending poverty, ending hunger, and of course, climate change. And we, the people, are responsible and capable to bring that American spirit back. We must recognize that our destinies are bound together, that a freedom which only asks, what's in it for me? A freedom without a commitment to others, a freedom without love or charity or duty or patriotism is unworthy of our founding fathers' ideals and what this country was built on. I do see hope everywhere. More people getting awake, more people stepping up. How about you? Are you committed to working toward a more perfect union in our country? Have you climbed onto the peace and justice train? And remember, as Unitarian Universalists, we must live our lives with purpose and love, committed to build a more perfect union. We, the UU people, in order to make a more perfect union, don't turn back. We stand on our principles. We leave no one behind, and we pull each other up. What to do? What can you do? We each can reach out daily to those we love and give them any help they need. We can reach out to strangers and give them encouragement. We can hire minorities. We can say the truth out loud. Racism is still rampant. Misogyny is still rampant. Inequality is still rampant. We have to work together, cooperate to once and for all fix those things, to bring about a more awesome country, a more awesome world. I remember going out to eat with my dad, and the waitress would come to our table and she would ask what he wanted, and he would invariably say, a kind word, just a kind word. We, the people, can do this. Give away kind words, give away smiles, and someday, soon, give away hugs. And wear a mask. Not only does the mask protect you from other people's germs, it protects other people from your germs. So a way to love and care for your neighbor is simply to wear a mask. This is the time to think of someone besides yourself, to get back to caring that equality hasn't been achieved yet, to get on that peace train for peace and justice and bring along others with you. Now here's Cat Stevens one more time. Now I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one, and I believe it could be someday is going to come. 'Cause on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country. Come take me home again. Blessed be, and amen.